Hey YouTube, this is Cyclemania97 here with another video of my Red Sea Max. But today I'm not going to be focusing on an update. This is actually going to be totally based off of a how-to. And the how-to is how to remove bubble algae from your aquarium. There's many different ways to do it based off of the location of the algae. But for me, it's on the glass. And if you guys can tell, I've already started doing this a little bit. I tried making a video, but the camera job was so horrible I just said that I was going to redo it. So here's my second attempt at it, and hopefully you guys like it. I'm going to show you guys what you need. So for starters, you're going to need a bucket of water to replace the water you suck out. Now you want this to be pre-mixed and temperature ready, which this one is pretty close to a good temperature, but I'm going to try to do this quickly so this water gets in so I don't have to heat it or pump it. This is mixed slightly a little less on the gravity of the main tank because there was evaporation over the last couple days, so I don't want to oversalt the tank. You'll also need some form of tubing. Airline tubing, in my opinion, is the best for this, but you also want to make sure that you have some sort of an angle on this so it can like scrape the algae up off the surface that you're doing, for me the glass, and suck that and any spores potentially released. And you also want a container so that water can siphon into, because any of that water is tainted and you do not want that getting into your aquarium, because that will, or any of your other saltwater aquariums if you have any, because that will just make the bubble algae go crazy. And also, just as a precautionary backup, a towel or an unused blanket or something, or a sheet, just to make sure that if you're not paying attention to this bucket, if it overflows, you have a backup to go on. So, I'm gonna get started here. Please excuse the poor camera shooting. I'm doing this with my left hand and or stacking other equipment up to get it high enough for you guys to see. Let's see here. I'm gonna turn the screen around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, one moment guys, I'm sorry. I should have been better prepared. But I don't have a tripod, so forgive me on that. But, okay, so you want to take the side with the edge on it. Let's see, and you want to put that in the tank to start the siphon, because this is the side you'll be using to take the bubbles off of the glass. Let's see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the area I'll be cleaning. That's a little too much. Okay, so gonna stick this in the tank. To start a siphon, all you gotta do is essentially suck on the end of the tube, but you really, since this is such small tubing, you really don't have to put much effort into this, and you can take it out real quick before any water gets in your mouth. Okay, so now that that's started, you want to just go to where the algae is, make sure that the angle is at the bottom, and just kind of scrape upwards as much as you can to get that algae off of the glass. And from what I've seen already, on the previous video I tried making and my test before that, this is really an effective method for removing any sort of algae, bubble algae, even hair algae, I guess, if you have it on the glass, or any other types of algae that might protrude instead of just being like diatoms that are flat. So you just want to go around the tank cleaning up whatever you can. Just make sure to monitor that container. This is only 1/4 inch tubing, but it can fill up quite quickly. So you just want to monitor that as you're going across the aquarium. So that's really all you guys have to do. It's really simple. I know bubble algae gets a bad hype for being a pain to get rid of, but this is really just a simple method. And yes, this is limited to bubble algae. It's not much bigger than the 1/4 inch, but if you get it this quickly, and there we go, needing that backup. The bucket didn't overflow, but the airline tubing was not long enough, and I pulled it out of the bucket, so that blanket actually served a purpose. But as you guys can maybe see, I'm not scraping only algae off of, not only bubble algae off of the glass. I'm also kind of trying to get anything off that I can. This is a good way to do it. And if you're doing this, you don't want to use your normal siphon tube. It just drains out way too much water. I mean, you can do that if you were actually doing a water change, but if you're only trying to get rid of this algae, I would not recommend using such a large tube. So with this, you can be rather quick. And right now I'm going to break the siphon. The container's getting a little full. And I'm going to show you guys what happened. One moment. So this was all the airline tubing I had, and the worst part is it was a little longer, but there was a cut in it, and it was spraying water all over the place. So I had to cut off about 1.5 to 2 feet. So as this was in the tank, I pulled it, I stretched it out too far, and it pulled out of my container, and like it's doing now, sprayed water all over the place. So you want to make sure that you have the proper amount of tubing before you start doing this, because even if you do have this towel set up, it could make a mess. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped you guys out. And if you guys have any questions, further concerns, or any advice to me on anything you've seen in my tank or in this that I have done wrong, please feel free to ask me. I'm pretty sure that this is the right method, and that this is actually the right method. I'm sorry. So this is the way you'd want to go at it. It'd be a little better to be a little more patient with it. I was rushing through it a little bit, but I didn't want to make this into a half-an-hour video and clean a 2-inch section of the glass. So you want to be a little more patient with this process, just to make sure that none of the spores get out, and just pay attention. You've got to focus on a couple things here. I mean, it'd be better if I used a 5-gallon bucket, but I don't have a spare one at the moment, so any container will do. But you guys just got to pay attention to this stuff, and don't let bubble algae become a problem.